Morning. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee that I just heated up too hot in the microwave.
Coffee's just so bad. I'm like, can I run down? Because they don't even serve coffee till 6. I'm like, gosh
Oh,
darn it.
what kind of a hotel are you in?
I know. I'm in the Fairfield Inn and Suites because I'm on a budget.
But we are how much did you pay?
I did mine on points. It was cheap. It was like 15,000 points on Marriott.
Oh,
So.
I had to pay 27,000 points for this room on Marriott tonight.
Oh,
it was not cheap. Okay, I'm gonna let people in.
okay.
Participants, 4 people, and I am going to admit all. Where'd you go? Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let's see who's up on the docket this morning. Who do we have? Evelyn's there. Bennett's coming in. Holly's here. Good morning. You never know who we're going to get on this. I'll tell you
So
that.
exciting.
So I've never seen you without pink.
Well, girl, hold on.
Please put your pink glasses on. Okay.
It's just reflecting the light. That's the reason I take it off. I take my glasses off.
Okay.
And this hotel room lighting is expensive.
I'm doing okay in this hotel room lighting. Okay, who wants to unmute? Who wants to say good morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you guys know each other? Introduce yourselves.
Samia Morgan, San Francisco Bay Area.
Did you, Katie, did you meet Samia? Say it again, Samia.
Samia.
We met at EXPCon. We met at EXPCon in October. We were in the room with Jean when Jean was talking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, when I did that, and then you were just in Cabo with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you saw each other.
I don't know if we saw each other in Cabo.
Who else is on here? Bennett's here.
Hey, good morning. I'm from Dallas.
Good morning, Bennett from Dallas.
Good morning. I'm Holly from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Holly, we saw you up on the big screen yesterday we just were at a rally. That's where each in hotel rooms. So they had all of our leadership and pictures.
What was I doing?
You were your gorgeous face was up in a photo saying that you were a member of agent advisory.
Okay. I know I was to say, because I was in charge of the Cincinnati rally and I spoke at the Louisiana rally. It's been all over.
Wow. And I wanted to take a picture. I took a picture. I could see Mickey's photo. And unfortunately, the MCs were standing right in front of yours. So I did not send it to you. I apologize because I'm like, well, she's not going to know to send it.
That's okay. That's okay. But yes, I always have to jump off early on this because we have our state meeting.
Yep, that's okay. We're good. So, okay, for those of you who are just jumping on, how many of you get the text? Do you guys get a text reminder from Jean's group about the meeting? Not sure who does. We got a small, intimate group this morning. Okay, who went where? We lost Holly.
Peggy, I get the text.
You do get the text. Okay.
I do get the text. And I know Tucker gets the text too.
Tucker gets, okay. Because some people are getting them and some people are not getting it. Oops. So you have to, just excuse me while I'm trying to do all this. So, and speaking of Tucker, here he is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we are in, when I say we, Katie and I are in Ontario, California, which is really not far from where I live in Dana Point, Orange County. But we came up here. Well, I drove up here with my godson to go to the regional rally. And boy, that's a lot of work to put those things together. Mm-hmm. It is not an easy task. There were some great speakers flew in from the East Coast, Boston, and was it North or South Carolina, I think, somewhere in the Carolinas. And, you know, I don't know about you, but before we get into Katie's book and stuff, one of the themes that we really talked about was getting back to basics. And it was very basic, and it was a great reminder. And of course, I'm really stoked to tell you guys that next week we're having Holly Mayberry on as our speaker, who's going to go over the NAR and what EXP is doing. And that's a whole nother level of what we're doing to support our agents. But when you go to these regional rallies and events, you get to network with people. And if you have not been to one, or if you have always said, hey, I want to be a speaker, you have the opportunity to do this. And if you've missed that opportunity this year, there are great people on this meeting every single week who should be up on stage talking, guys. I love you guys. I want to support you guys. So if you want to be a speaker next year, put that down on your vision board as one of your goals, because they're kind of like everyday people like you and I. I mean, they're agents doing business, and we've all got something to share. So I challenge every one of you to figure out what you like to talk about and what you want to share. Because when we share, we learn, right? Katie, you got to just keep on sharing and getting up there and telling stories. And some people are scared to death when they're up there, but they totally step out of their comfort zones. And I think everybody from the audience to the speaker walks away, you know, a different person. And next year, I want to get involved in running one and helping to support our region. Because like I said, it's a lot of work. And Holly, you said you were running one. Hats off to you. I can't imagine what went on behind the scenes. So before we get started here, is there anybody on the call who has something really amazing to share? Like something good. I don't care if it has to do with real estate or it has to do with personal, but let's get some participation going here, because like I said, we have so many great people here. Don't be quiet and show me up now.
Peggy, this past weekend, I was out in West Texas, southwest of a little town called Marfa, that is down by the Big Bend area. And I was on two ranches, one that was 44 sections and the other that was 50 sections, been the same family for 130 years. And we bounced around that place. And I mean, talk about rough. I mean, you have no idea. Anyway, there's this one little cut, if you will, crevice that was fed by a spring. And so it has water in it and it has fish in it, but it doesn't flow anywhere. It has no outlet. It doesn't flow down the stream or anything. It's just about 30 feet long. Well, I was with seven fraternity brothers, and we were just playing around, looking at it and seeing the land. And I lost my balance and I fell 20 feet into the crevice. And believe it or not, I didn't hit my head. I may have been crazy for being so close to the crevice, but I didn't hit my head. But I had a bunch of other abrasions and stuff. But the point is that God was looking out after me, and I was able to be pulled out by rope, and no other injuries other than a bruised ego and a scraped up knee and elbow. So I was out there, looking, and I did take the opportunity to go into Marfa and Alpine and meet some agents, and so I got to do a little recruiting as well while I was out there.
So the good part is you're here. Thank you.
I'm here. That's exactly right. I'm here. That's the good part. I'm still alive.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, we're very grateful that you're okay in one piece and didn't break anything and are here to tell us about that. I'm speechless. I didn't expect that. Let's see, Gary, we haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
Doing well, Peggy. How about you guys?
Really good. What's going on in Canada? Has it warmed up yet?
Well, it certainly tries, and then we get back to cold weather. So it's been borderline snowing here for a couple of days. So it's very gray. So it's very long days because when it's like this, it's I can safely say, with the exception of those with skin cancer, live for sunshine.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. How's your market doing up there?
Well, geez, I might end up taking the whole hour if I got into that, but our market here is completely out of control, and the government is out of control. So we're in a very chaotic state here, and because there's so much immigration happening here, we do have a massive housing crisis nationwide, and yet we have rampant inflation and excessive interest rates, and at the end of it all, people are frankly to blame, right? Even though they don't see that they're responsible for the market being where it is, people encouraged it. So it's out of control, overheated market, and now a government that has no mandate other than to keep taxing and taxing and taxing is unfortunately going to bankrupt us. But that's a whole nother topic, and you're probably wondering why you unmuted unmuted
No,
me.
I just want everybody to know he's not talking about the United States. You know, he's talking about Canada.
There's a
But
lot
they
of
did.
bad things happening out there right now. Food crises, and food has gone through the roof. So a lot of people are really not having a good time here. So, and I'm pretty certain that's the same in a lot of the U.S. and Mexico, you name it. Western culture is going through a bit of an interesting shift right now.
Yeah, it is. But they did do a really nice plug for your Canadian EXPCon and said that, if people want to visit a beautiful city and they haven't been to Canada, yesterday at the rally, they were talking about that and how people should just get up there and go support you guys. And, if I didn't have conflict, the same conflict that you had, but vice versa, I think I would have been taking a trip up to Canada. But if anybody's up there and has wanted to go to Canada and has wanted to take a family vacation and also get a tax write-off for it, of course, talk to your accountant, go up and visit Gary, because I know he's a big supporter of this EXPCon in Canada. And what are the dates on that, Gary? They're over the retreat. So it's like the first week in May or something like that.
I want to say it is May 6th to 8th, but you caught me off guard.
That's
It's
okay,
on the
but
calendar. I'll put it up in the chat, and I'll put the link in the chat in a minute. But it's at a very good venue right downtown Toronto. So you'd be right in the thick of the entertainment district and close to the water. It's only like a 5-minute walk right down to the lake, and
wow.
There's a really good roundup of speakers coming in, and EXP leadership will be there, Glenn, and all the heads. So it'll be a very good few days there.
Nice.
Mike
All right.
Valdez.
Mike's coming too. Great.
He is.
He is. Well, next week, and I'm going to plug this a couple times through the call because it's really, really important. Holly Mayberry is going to be our guest speaker. She was at the event yesterday here in Ontario, California, and she was the one who got on originally. I think it was with Leo, and talked about what's going on with NAR. I am so impressed with our company. Guys, we've got to start promoting that she's going to be our guest speaker, because that's huge. That's EXP leadership. That's going to have major changes for us. And whether you're in Canada, referring business down here, or vice versa, you just need to be on there, EXP or non-EXP. I know other companies who haven't even looked at forms yet because they don't know what to do. This is our time. Again, we're standing out. Okay, so Katie and I go back. Katie put your glasses on for a second. I know they
Oh,
reflect. I've never seen Katie not in pink. She is the pink coach. You will see her at every event wearing signature pink. She's written a book. She's always enthusiastic and ready to help. And at the last minute yesterday, I was saying, oh my God, I'm not sure if I have a speaker for tomorrow. Excuse me. Something came up, unfortunately, with a family commitment. And Katie said, I'm in, I'll do it. And that's what we do. So, okay, Katie, jump in, tell us about yourself.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. We're here, just off the heels of a rally. I actually went to 2 rallies. I went to the Las Vegas rally on Monday and the Southern California rally yesterday. So I've got all sorts of notes and things.
Katie, I want to just hold on 1 second, because this is what I do.
Okay.
Why would you go to 2 rallies? Well, I can't even get some people aren't even going to 1, but
Yeah,
you went to 2 rallies in 2 different states.
Yeah. And I mean, well, Las Vegas and Southern California aren't too far apart, but it was about a 4-hour drive. I wanted to go to Las Vegas because of the networking piece. And it was partly because of just what they have going on in Las Vegas, and to support a couple of the agents that are in my organization, and to be there because I just think it's important to network within our organization, our company, get to know the leadership in different states. And also, this is a great opportunity to just learn what other people are doing, right? And I mean, sometimes we started hearing the same things over and over, and we started to turn our little, like, the grown-ups in Peanuts, right? It's like, wah, 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 wah. Yeah. I've heard that person. And sometimes it's like somebody else maybe saying the exact same thing is sometimes really valuable, right? Like, oh, okay. And I heard that same thing, like Peggy started off talking about back to basics. And it's like, oh, but everybody's doing basics differently. I think one of the things that was really interesting in Las Vegas is Elizabeth Riley was one of the speakers in Las Vegas, and she talked about how she's never made a cold call ever, and how she just focuses, or exclusively focuses, on sphere of influence, and just deep diving into her relationships. And literally the very next speaker came up and says, all he does is cold calling, right? And he has a team of cold callers, and he loves it, and he does some residential, some commercial. He thinks he comes at it from an investor standpoint, and it's all about the cold call, and all about top of the funnel activities, of sales activities, and being sales focused. And it was 2 totally different ways of coming at our business, and both of them very, very effective. And it was, and on the breaks, people were talking about, like, oh, I really more connected with Elizabeth, and I really connected with Henry. And so it's which is great, because maybe you take a little bit of both, or maybe you think, I hadn't added this piece or added that piece to it, but it was just really great to say, what does back to basics look like for me? And I thought that was something that was really, really valuable as well.
So what else in terms of, Gary, you put in the chat, and I always appreciate you chiming in on that, on the back to basics. People say back to basics. Well, one of the speakers yesterday, he went over how to run a successful open house. How many signs are you doing right now? How many, flyers? Do you have QR codes? What are you using for a sign-in sheet? What are you doing for this? And sometimes I think we just, are like robots when we think about doing these things. And I'm actually doing an open house on Saturday, and realized my open house signs are like disgusting. And so yesterday, when we're sitting in the event, I am literally ordering brand new open house signs. And guys, I haven't been selling real estate in years, so you can imagine if I even had any open signs, to be honest with you. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to represent a $2 million property. Well, how do I want to look? How do I want to show up? Do I just want to have crappy open house signs that, I can go buy at Home Depot or whatever? Or do I want to show up as that professional? And those are some of the things that I want you to think about, especially in this market, on where we're going and how you need to show up and how people are going to perceive you. So back to basics, huge, important. What are some of the other things, Katie, that you've seen at these rallies? What's another theme that just keeps
Yeah,
coming
well,
up?
I think it was funny. Henry and I in Vegas talked about this. My background is in corporate sales. So the joke I tell everybody is, well, truth and no humor. I went to Catholic school, so I learned how to sell in the first grade. Right. So I've been literally knocking on doors since I was 6 years old. And
Mhm.
sometimes it is that basic, right? That a 6-year-old kid, I wanted to go to Great America. If I sold 6 boxes of candy, I got to go to Great America. And so set the goal out for myself, set the routine, waited for my dad to come home from work, and then he and I would go hit the neighborhood. And I would sell candy bars and wear my uniform and the whole bit. And so I think it's sometimes it gets back to selling like a 6-year-old, right? I always tell 6-year-olds are the greatest salespeople on the planet because they are passionate, they're enthusiastic, they come at it in multiple different ways. They never take no for an answer, not at first, right? They're going to come at it multiple ways because they're excited. And I think sometimes that's what we need to remind ourselves is to get that joy of what we do as real estate agents. And I think what was really good about yesterday and both rallies is I teach back to basics is my thing because I teach a class called how to sell like a 6-year-old, like super basic stuff. And a lot of times a lot of people don't know what the basics are. And I get this thought like, well, I don't want to have to call my database. I've been in the business for 20 years. Do I really have to still keep calling my database? Right? Anybody else have that? Like, I feel like I've earned the right not to have to do that. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm gonna say to you guys. Ready? Da 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 da.
No.
What'd you get? Right? Everybody
Yep.
knows what that is, right? And so, McDonald's is not like, well, we're too successful. We don't need to advertise anymore. No, that's not what they do, right? They do, jingles and, there's all the things that McDonald's does every day. McDonald's doesn't say, "Oh, I hope I'm not bothering anybody by getting our jingle stuck in your head," right? So it's how you run a business, right? Is by reminding people who you are and what you do and how well you do it. And the how may be a little bit different. Um, I collaborated with Gene Frederick, and I have a class that 101 lead generation ideas. Like, however you are going to get out there and do it. And sometimes it is like the basics is how many conversations am I having today? How many follow-up conversations and how many brand new conversations am I having today? And that's the basics, right? Who do I need to talk to today? And if you know that I need to book one appointment a week, how many conversations do you need to have to book one appointment? And then if it's 5 o'clock and you've had a day that went crazy and you haven't talked to anybody that day and you're like, oh, what am I going to do? Go to Starbucks, go to happy hour, go find a networking event. There's lots of different places. Go to the gym, go and talk to people and wear your I'm a realtor shirt, right? And this is where the conversations happen. This is where the conversations happen a lot.
They did an exercise yesterday where they had people stand up for different things, and they had everybody stand up and asking different questions, but I thought this was kind of fascinating. Who here talked to their sphere or talked to anyone about real estate in the past 48 hours? Shockingly, you guys have, but I'm going to tell you, shockingly, some people sat down. There were
tons of people.
Yeah, it was like, wow. And the honesty was, crazy there. And 48 hours, they were saying, is too long. Because if you're not talking to him, somebody else is.
Yep.
Right now, and again, especially here in the States, this is the best opportunity once you get educated on it a little bit better and you come off the call with Holly next week. Everybody's talking about the NAR settlement. Everybody's talking about, oh, we don't have to pay realtors anymore. Oh, you're going to be out of business. They're making up all these stories. Man, call your sphere, get educated on this and call your sphere and let them know we're going to do business as usual. There's already forms there. And again, I don't want to go off on this because I'm not an expert on it. But if you think that the sky is falling and we're not going to have any business anymore, go get off this call right now and go hang your license up. because those are not the agents that I want to be surrounded with, because we are the agents here who know what we're doing. We are going to show value and basics, value, relationships over and over again. Holly, I don't know if you can hear me. I know you're getting ready to jump off on another call, but are you still there? I don't want to put her on the spot. She's doing leadership. Okay, she pops back on. So Katie, you said you had a great topic for today, which is, oh, where's your book?
Oh,
I love your book. Show everybody your book.
Here's my book. So I've been a national trainer and speaker since 2008. I've trained about over 30,000 agents and loan officers across the country. My book is called Fortune Cookie Leadership. It's 52 chapters, one for each week of the year. It's called Fortune Cookie because each chapter has a one-liner, the story where the one-liner originated. It's written in memory of my mom. My mom was the queen of the one-liners, and I realized when I was running real estate offices that I was also the queen of the one-liners. And then the story where the one-liner originated and the lesson for your business or your life. Now it's written for salespeople, so the longest chapter is 2.5 pages long. So you're welcome. So people tell me they have a great sense of accomplishment, like, oh, I read 2 chapters of a book today, right? It was 5 pages, but hey, we're good, right? So, but when I was running a real estate office, I was doing weekly sales meetings. I wanted some motivation, inspiration for the sales meeting for my team, not for my organization. And it was a book that I'm like, I wish I had a book where I could just flip through and go, yeah, that's the one I want to focus on this week. It doesn't need to be read cover to cover, like front to back. You can just pick it up and flip through it and find it. So I hope you get a chance to take a look at it. So
where can they get it?
Amazon. Well, yes, I can probably put it. And it's Fortune Cookie Leadership. And Amazon.
It's $14.95 on Amazon. $5.99.
Thank you.
And it's already looking it up. Fantastic.
I just ordered it.
Oh, thank you. All right,
Good.
bring it to EXPCon. I will autograph it for you.
Okay.
So you said that you were going to talk about.
Yes. So here's my favorite. Okay, I want, if you are available to put in the chat, how many times a week do people ask you, how's the market?
Or do you hear that?
Put it in the chat.
3. Tucker
3.
Tucker does old school. If he uses 3 fingers, that's fine. 5 every day, including Peggy asking. Yes, Gary.
Every day. Okay. So the number I get the most is somewhere between 5 and 10. Can we say 5? Is that okay? Tucker, is it okay if we do 5? Okay. And then how many weeks a year do you work? And if you say 52, I'm going to yell at you. So don't say 52. So a week working in real estate is a week that you are actively lead generating. Not like Thanksgiving week where you're like available to answer your phone is different than a week that you are actively lead generating. So put in the chat.
48.
48. 40, 45, 10. Nope. Okay. You want to, because Tucker, you said 48?
Yep.
Okay. Who wants to do the math of 48 times 5? That's 240. Okay. That's 240 people that asked you how's the market in a given year. All right. Everybody agree with those numbers? We good with that?
Right.
Does anybody think that what percentage of those 240 people might have bought or sold real estate from somebody else last year? Or in the last year?
20%.
20%. Maybe different numbers?
You're making me think it might be higher.
I would say 55.
55. You're really making me do math this morning, huh, Bennett? All right.
80%.
Okay, make it 50.
Oh, 80%.
Sammy says 80.
80%, Sammy.
Wow. Okay. So here's the thing about how's the market, right? So we'll say half of the 280, half, it's 140. Now, how many of those 140 people might have bought or sold real estate with you if you had stayed in touch with them? I mean, like somebody's second grade boyfriend just got his real estate license. So
25%.
25%. So 25% of 140 is 35.
Mm-hmm.
What is your average commission check? Do the math in your head. This is not a public shaming. This, well, kind of is. So let's, you know, if your average commission check is $10,000, that's $350,000. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I'm telling people right now. I was in corporate sales for 15 years before getting into real estate. I sold copiers. I sold for ADP payroll services. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep. And when I went to a kid's soccer game, a cocktail party, a birthday party, nobody ever came up to me and said, "Hey, Katie, what's the copier market? Someday I might need to buy a copier, and I'm just curious about the copier market." Said no one ever. This is the only sales business I've ever seen where people will walk up to you and say, "Hi, I'm a potential customer. Could you help me make sense of this business that you're in?" I've never seen any other industry that does this. It's insane.
Right.
And we say silly things. So I want you guys to think now, how much money does it cost you for somebody to walk up to you and ask you, "How's the market?"
Zip.
Zip. It's a lot cheaper than Zillow leads. Okay. These are people that are coming up to you. Maybe you're talking to them on the phone about something else, like but usually they're engaging with you in a physical manner. There's an energy piece that happens. There's body language that happens, that people ask you, "How's the market?" People ask us, "How's the market?"
Mm-hmm.
And what I want you to think about, can people Google "how's the market" or "what are rates"? Can people Google it?
Mm-hmm.
So why do they ask you? It's easy to get the information. Why would they ask you? Why do they ask us?
Because we're the experts. We're live. We're there.
And they're not sure that they believe what they read on the internet.
Conversation.
Okay.
We're always creating conversations, right, Gary? Yep.
All right. So here's the thing about "how's the market." I'll make this PG rated.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay. Well, it's being recorded. In case I run for Congress someday.
They're so big.
Nobody gives a crap about the market. No one. It's like asking me what's the average temperature of the United States. Who cares? It doesn't matter. What they're asking about is help me understand real estate for me. I want to know about my market or somebody important to me. So the way to answer "how's the market" is it depends. Because guess what? It does. It depends. Are you buying or selling?
Mm-hmm.
It depends. Where? It depends. When? Are all these things important to people's real estate decision? This is the most personal question that people ask publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Most people's home is the largest financial investment of their lives, and it is the single indicator of generational wealth. And they ask this at a cocktail party.
Right.
"Hi, I'd like to talk to you about my largest financial investment and how it may impact me and my family." Or we don't know because we don't ask the questions. Is this for you or someone important to you? Because sometimes it's like, "Oh, great grandma can't do the stairs anymore." And it's 60 years of memories, otherwise known as scrapbooks and tchotchkes, all over great grandma's house. We got to move great grandma into assisted living. We got to sell our house. The whole concept of moving great grandma from an emotional, from a financial, from a stress is unreal. And I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to ask you, how's the market? Because I think I'm going to have to, the cousins are getting together and talk about selling great grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know because we don't ask. We say things like, "It's great, it's busy, it's low inventory, lots of stuff in the news right now, lots of misinformation." People don't care. The only reason that they're asking questions about the market or about the NAR settlement in the United States is because they want to know how it affects them.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a city in the San Francisco Bay Area that we have 3 school districts in the same town. So literally, depending on the side of the street where your home is, will impact the value of your house. So how's the market is very specific. And I think every city has neighborhoods like that, where and you're in this block or that block will significantly change the value of your home,
Mhm.
right? So I want to know why they're asking me how's the market. So that's the question I'm going to challenge you guys to do is when somebody asks you how's the market, I want you to think of this as the international sign for book an appointment. Book an appointment, book an appointment, book an appointment. At the very least, get their contact information and follow up. Hey, it depends. Are you buying or selling? And most people will say, so you'll be amazed at how many people, I say, are you buying, selling, or thinking about commercial real estate? Because by the way, commercial real estate referral checks, if you're not a commercial agent, are gigantic.
Yes.
So getting into at least having a conversation that you are connected to a massive network of incredible commercial agents. And like, have you thought about buying I know you're a dentist. Have you thought about buying the building? Oh gosh, I hadn't thought about that. What does that look like? I don't know. Let's find out. Let me get on the phone with the commercial agent in our area. Want the three of us sit down because then you can learn. That'd be fun.
You know, Katie, you bring up such a good point, and Gary just put something in the chat about it's such a specific question, but you hear different coaches and different people telling you along, it's fantastic or it's
I know exactly what you're
unbelievable.
talking about with that one.
Yeah. It's like, don't show what's really going on. And I used to always think to myself, why do I have to teach that? Why is that in some of the courses that I'm up here as a leader giving these scripts on? Because it didn't do me any good. It didn't lead to anything else.
Well, I think optimism is great.
Basic.
Yeah, optimism is great and energy is great. And you can say, are there opportunities in every market?
Mm-hmm.
Every market has opportunities, right? Right now, there's low inventory and prices are high, right? Lots and the two different rallies we were attending, and then people that spoke other parts of the country, multiple offers abound.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an opportunistic market for sellers right now. So it's what is the opportunity for them? I like what you said, Gary. Make it about them. Make them the hero of the story, not us.
Right. It's not
We're
about
Yoda. They're Luke Skywalker. If I can make the Star Wars reference, we're Yoda. We're the sage.
Yeah.
They're Luke Skywalker.
That's a great, great, great analogy. And so some of the people I know and are thinking in their head, well, I'm not out, or I don't have people asking me 5 times a day. How would we reverse this? How would we reverse this into a conversation to call your sphere? Why not just pick up the phone and say, hey, I know you're interested in real estate, and I bet you're wondering how the market is. What kind of questions do you have? Especially people that you've had conversations with in the past. This is a great starter for, I don't know what to say when I pick up the phone. BS. Turn it around, deconstruct it.
So this is the thing I'm losing track of the events I've attended now, but social media is it. So are you guys doing videos? One video a week? Okay. So here's the thing about people, I don't know what to talk about. So whatever question you get from one person, multiple people have that same question. So if you get the same question in a week more than once, then do a video on it. Easy. Somebody else. And if you don't have content, call your sphere of influence, past clients, talk to people on the street. We're your realtor. I'm a realtor. And ask them, say, hey, I'm doing videos once a week around questions in real estate. So I'd love to, what questions do you have about real estate?
That is the best tip you could give anybody right now. And if you were to call your sphere and ask that question, amazing conversations will follow with that. That's unbelievable.
And do audio messages.
Yes. Audio messages are great.
I didn't even think about that until this week.
What made you think about it, Tucker?
What made me think about it?
Yeah.
Callie's comment. I mean, I have not been sending audio messages, and I'm going to start doing them regularly because people want to hear your voice, and it's something different.
Yeah, audio messages are fun because you think about how much of communication is nonverbal, tone of voice, and stuff. So that's why the text doesn't ever fully convey, and a lot of people don't listen to voicemails anymore. Or some people, their phones don't even take them. So leaving a voice message, a voice text is really fun.
So when you're looking at this, guys, and you're thinking, I and Brad, I only have one Brad today. Hi, Brad. You know who I'm talking to. Conversations, we talk about this. I don't have anything to say. I don't know what to ask. You can always start a conversation. And how about being proactive on this? I mean, this is as basic as it could be. And if you haven't talked to someone in a while, pick up the phone and it would be, hey, Katie, it's Peggy. You know, we haven't talked in a while, but man, I was thinking about you the other day because we've had some great conversations around real estate. Or tell me what you're thinking. What are your thoughts on the market today? I'd love to hear it. You're asking them as the professional.
Well, and you can even start more basic than that. If you haven't talked to somebody, I mean, I did it as far as with revenue share. I started calling people I hadn't talked to in 15 years. And I thought, well, worst case scenario is they don't call me back. I leave a message. I call them a couple times. I don't hear from them. I had so many people answer the phone. I'm like, oh my God, a blast from the past, right? Mm-hmm. How are you? It was hilarious. And we spent 10 minutes just like, how are you? How big are your kids now? Where are you living? And we didn't even talk business for 10 minutes. It was just catching up. And then at some point it turned in, how's work? Right? And unless somebody's a complete narcissist, they're going to ask you back, hey, how's work for you? Then they've opened the door to talk about real estate. Hey, this is what's going on. These are the opportunities in this market right now. What's your 5-year, 10-year plan? I mean, are you going to be buried in the backyard kind of thing? Or, are you going to leverage the investment, the equity that you've built up in the house? And how long have you been at that house now? And, all sorts. I mean, are you thinking about pulling some of that equity out and buying some investment property? Maybe not in your area, but maybe in other parts of the country. Have you looked at that? There's lots of people that are doing that.
So, we got a lot of guys on this call today. And I love sometimes our groups are large, sometimes our groups are small. And I find in the intimate ones like this, we get to have some real conversations. So, Bennett, how do you feel doing this? I mean, you're sitting here right now listening to this. I always see your body language smiling, and you think about things. What could you do in the next hour after we get off this call?
I think I love the opening question. How are you doing? Asking the question of what questions do you have about real estate? What's your biggest concern? Because I'm one of those people that it seems like that I may not have a lot to talk about, but I struggle sometimes. What do I say to these people? I've known some of them for so long. What do I say? Yep. But asking them, what questions do you have about real estate? That puts it back on them, and is just and how about this? Hey, Bob, it's good to see you. Good to hear from you. Listen, I got a question. I'm doing a little survey. I'm trying to figure out what most people are concerned about real estate. So what's your biggest concern about real estate today?
Who is not going to want to answer that question?
Yeah. I need your help. Taking a survey.
Doing a survey.
I talked to Bob
love the survey.
You talked to Bob yesterday.
Do you love that survey idea?
I love the survey idea.
I think that's so amazing. And I was thinking about, okay, calling other agents and just, I'm just checking in. We haven't talked for a while. I'm trying to learn this NAR. Tell me what you're hearing. Tell me your thoughts on this. You're a respected agent you're not calling about EXP. You're not talking about EXP. You want to collaborate with some of the top agents out there. I call Gary and I say, hey, Gary, it's Peggy. We haven't talked in a while. I respect you. I have a question. Tell me your thoughts on this NAR decision. What are you hearing from your company?
Hey, Peggy.
Yep.
This is Samia again, and it's almost 40 years in real estate.
Yep.
And my commitment this year, or my goal, is to reconnect with my clients, my sphere, and my agents I haven't talked to in a long time. So I am today hosting a mastermind with my fellow agents, and I made calls to people I haven't talked to in years, and they were so excited. They said, in person? I said, yes, no Zoom. And so we'll see. I have a dozen people committed to coming, and we'll see how many show up. But that's getting them to collaborate and help the younger agents and share ideas. And I'm sure the NAR topic will come up, but we're going to not limit it to that because that could take the whole couple of hours. And we're doing it at a restaurant during open happy hour, and I have a lender taking care of the food. But I feel better if I approach it in a soft agent attraction and a soft method. I think this is my way of doing it, and we'll see how it goes. But
Samia,
I love you doing that. Tell us more on how you organized this. Who made the phone calls? What was the response?
I just sat down. I mean, I have my spreadsheet with my target audience of attraction. It's not as organized as I'd like it because I'm switching CRMs. I just sat down and looked at people I've known for a long time, and just on a Friday afternoon, believe it or not, I hit everybody. I mean, everybody I called, I got, and I was like,
when
on
they
a Friday afternoon.
That's unbelievable.
And I told them exactly what I just said, and they like, yeah, that would be great. Even some of the people who are really, really top in the chain, they were like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. And I'm like, wow. So, I mean, there's some that couldn't because, the spouse just passed or mom is sick and they're taking care of it. But those were the exceptions. I just went to my favorite restaurant where I like to go for happy hour sometimes and got them to give us a room and agree to the happy hour, even though it's not at the bar. And I talked to one of my lenders who just changed companies, and he said, yeah, I'd love to do it. So it just came about. I did it on Eventbrite, and then I had struggles with Eventbrite because I had to create a third account, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. So I thought it would be better to just take the link for the Eventbrite. I created a QR code and wrote an email and put everybody in the BCC. And told them, the reason you're getting this email is because we chatted, you agreed to come, or somebody gave me your name to join. And that was it. And I just kept sending reminders. And I'm looking forward to today.
That's so exciting. So
I just have a very bad hair day, so that's why I'm not on camera.
That's okay. Look at Katie and I.
I know, Mike.
You're having a bad hair day.
Yeah, for Tucker, it's every day.
Yeah, see, all the gray is showing. I hadn't done that. So
nobody notices. No, can I
gray? What are you talking about? Gray?
You're a man. You can get away with it.
So make sure, please, next week, make sure you let us know how this went.
Yeah.
And put it in the workplace chat that we have, because this is exciting. People want to get out. People want to talk to people. People are cramped up right now. There's so much going on. They're still frozen in Canada. They can't get out. I remember talking to Brad one day, and I think it was literally like 40 something degrees below zero. I didn't think that was possible. So that's why I asked when you can
We can
thaw
help
out.
you move, Gary.
So who else has a question for
Well,
Katie?
I just want to make a comment real quick because I liked what Gary put in the chat. So I want to jump
Please,
off that
Gary's
for a
great
second.
chat.
So here's the thing. Raise your hand if you love moving.
A loaded question.
Well, it's not. So Gary loves to move, huh? You like to pack up all your stuff and figure out the utilities and move everything and organize and have to unpack and then unpack and all the
That's
things,
my
right?
life every day out of a suitcase.
Yeah, well, so moving is a top 5 stressor for for most people. It's in the top 5, and 5 most stressful experiences of your life. Moving is in the top 5. It always is. All right. So people buy and sell real estate because the time of their life, not timing the market. People buy and sell real estate because the time of their life, not timing the market. So if you are pregnant with twins in your studio apartment, you're not going to be like, well, guess we can't move because of the NAR settlement. Like, what? Right? Hey, great grandma can't do the stairs anymore. And we're going to have to sell and move grandma to assisted living. Well, no, the NAR settlement's going on. So we're not going to be able to make it. No, Gary's point, we figured this is a blip in time. We figure it out. The mortgage industry did this 12 years ago. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It was, and it's like, okay, what are the new rules? Tell me the new rules. Like, how do I play Monopoly again? Okay, we changed the rules a little bit. Perfect. Back to the game, right? No big deal. But remember, people buy and sell real estate because of the time of their life, not timing the market. And
I bought my first house 17% plus interest, negative AM. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, it's everybody is paying a mortgage. It's just who you're paying a mortgage for. And as far as interest rates, your interest rate when you're renting is 100. So anything less than 100 is a good interest rate, right? So
I like that. I like what you just said.
So those are the conversations, Samia, that I hope you have with your group today. It's like, it's about what we do as realtors. It's the reason people ask us, how's the market? Is because they need help navigating this, right? I'll speak to Samia, but I mean, in California, 30 years ago, the real estate contract was what, 1 page? Now it's like, 40. It's because every single paragraph is a lawsuit.
No, maybe 40 years ago.
40 years ago, it was 1 page. Okay. All right.
When I started, it wasn't 1 page.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I've been going on tour and visiting agents at open houses. And on tour yesterday, I had a very big discussion with one of the guys there who's been around 20 years. And he remembered me from when he started. Anyway,
Aww.
And we talked about how this thing is the best thing that could happen to us. I said, I don't like other people negotiating my commission for me.
Right.
Because that's exactly what it is when you have a buyer and the listing agent, like his father, is a cheap agent and cuts commissions for the other side. I don't know about his side, but I said that to him. I said, this is a way for me to get what I'm worth. And this is a way for you to, and I've been using buyer representation agreements for over 20 years because I've been going to Star Power meetings, and it is just a mindset. Is it bad? If you think it's bad, it's going to be bad. If you think it's great, it's going to be great. Now, the judge that, I don't know if y'all saw that yesterday, the judge said preliminarily approved NAR, but final decision in November. And I'm like, November? What, are you going on vacation for 6 months? I don't get it. But so this thing may not happen this year, but I hope that NAR makes the requirement for buyer representation agreements as soon as possible and not wait till July, because sellers can now say 0. So if you don't have a buyer representation agreement and don't know how to use it, you're not going to get paid anything.
I think Holly's going to cover that next week, right, Peggy?
It's amazing. And I have go on to Skyslope where all the forms are, and it's one page and it's already there. And my godson is with me, and he was at his first EXP event yesterday. He's going to be 19 years old, getting his California license. And I looked at him and I said, you have no idea how fortunate you are right now, because you don't have any of this other stuff coming behind you.
No bad habits.
No bad habits. You get to negotiate your worth. And agents who, he's just like not going to know any different, right, guys? So he's still excited about getting his real estate license. He didn't stop and say, oh my God, I'm not going to get paid. He's wow, I get to get paid what I'm worth. How cool is that?
Well, you remember what fear stands for, right? The people who are scared. False evidence appearing real. And don't be afraid. Just go practice. I mean, I was just interviewed last week and we did some skits on how do you explain it to a buyer and how to go through it. And I hope it helps somebody, but it's just go practice.
And I love that everybody's doing this. I just want to make sure, and I know no one would really do this here. If you are giving out information, please, please, please know what you're talking about. Know those forms, study those forms. Do not think you're going to pull up the form and struggle through it the first time you sit in front of a buyer, because they're going to say, bullshit. I'm not hiring you. You don't know what you're talking about. You have got to be on the money with this. And we have so many people with leadership that you can reach out to and ask that question. Not every buyer is 100%, but we would never say this, but I think there was a saying that used to say buyers are liars. And when this came through buyer agency years ago, back in the 80s, when we first had to use it in Connecticut, you had to sign your buyer broker agreement. You had to fax it over to the other brokerage, and that brokerage had the right to call your buyer to make sure that they had actually signed that. And you will be surprised at what people are going to say. They right now are skeptical. They are going to try and trip us up. So please know your facts when you're out there, because this is another lawsuit waiting to happen if you're giving out wrong information. And I'm so impressed with our leadership that they are stepping up to the plate, that they are jumping on as many calls as they possibly can, that they are here to support this with us. And that's why it's a great opportunity to call other agents in the next week and say, hey, tell me what you're hearing. Oh, our leadership is going to be our guest speaker. You're free to join ZoomPeggy.com next Wednesday morning. We've already got the forms. Use this, leverage this, guys, and use it today at your event.
Peggy.
What?
Pretend it's SAMYA. That will help you say my name.
You know why I get so nervous? Because I've said it wrong.
I can tell.
I trip over it. I'm like, oh my God, I know her personally, and I mess up her name.
That's all right.
Okay. So I love this conversation. I love that we're educated. I love that we step up for each other. And Katie last minute was like, yeah, I can do this call with you.
Thanks, Katie.
So I just want to follow back up on the how's the market thing.
Yes, please.
Is that as you're calling people, as you're talking to people, and even the buyers are liars piece, the buyers aren't liars. We just don't ask the right questions. And so that's so that we need to just be better. I mean, or sometimes it's like they don't even know. I think a lot of times buyers don't know till they're out and they're like, oh, I hadn't thought about this kind of a property.
It's not that they're liars. They just don't know.
They don't know. Right. They're right. So they don't. Agreed. And so, Bennett was talking about like, hey, I'm taking a survey. So here's the thing about that is tell them why, right? I'm taking a survey of your questions because I'm going to write a blog post, because I'm going to do a Facebook video, because I'm going to, and so, so then they're going to look for it. they're going to look for the blog post. They're going to look for the video of you know, that even if you get the same response from 10 people, when you post the video or you post the blog post or doing the newsletter, answering the question, they're like, oh, that was my question. Right. So they'll like, they'll feel a part of this, that they're a part of supporting. Everybody loves to support people in their business, right? Everything from the 6-year-old selling the candy bars to somebody that, you know, your godson that's 19 getting his real estate license. Like we were all like, yay, right?
We're
So
for him,
the same thing happens with your sphere. They want to, and then you can ask them, hey, how can I support you with your business? Or maybe they're involved in a volunteer organization, or maybe they need a dog walker. But that's part of what we do is we can connect people to opportunities and solutions. But let them know why you're doing that.
Thank you, Katie. That is one of the best things too, is ask them, how can I help you? What do you need?
That's a great question.
Please be reciprocal. Anybody want to jump in with a last minute comment? This hour went by really quick. Wow.
It did.
It flew by. Anybody have a last minute comment, question? So you all are going to be on the call
Love
next
you, Peggy.
Thank you, Katie, for your comments. They're very, very well founded. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Katie, in your book, what's the number one, what's your favorite chapter in your book?
Chapter one is closed mouth, don't get fed. We gotta ask for what we want. So closed mouth, don't get fed. So we gotta ask. If you don't ask, you don't get.
That's fantastic. Love it.
So
okay,
true.
Guys, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. Katie, thanks for last minute.
My pleasure. Anytime you call me, I'll jump on. I'll be in a baseball cap likely, but I'm happy to jump on.
That's okay.
Have a great week, everybody.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Guys, next
Thank
week,
you.
Holly, we'll get that out there. So we'll have a great call next week again. Thanks, guys. Make it a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Can you get the marketing piece to start sharing, Peggy, on for next week's call?
Yes, let me try and get one made up as quickly as possible. I need to be in touch with her.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
You can talk about it at your event today.
Yeah, just trying to get people here at 6 a.m.
Right.
I know. It's hard in California.
I mean, it's trying to get them to some of Dawn's meetings at 7. The book club is, you know, oh, I'm taking my kids to school. I'm taking my grandkids to school. Oh, I'm working out. Oh, I'm like, okay, well, you can have excuses to
Yep. Reasons are results, not both.
Yep. Yeah.
Exactly.
Emia, where are you located? Where in the Bay Area?
San Mateo.
Oh, okay.
I'm
a Walnut Creek kid, so.
Ah, okay.
Katie, where are you off to today?
Today I'm going to Hollywood.
Woohoo!
Because tomorrow, I'm very excited. Tomorrow I'm recording my audiobook. So I'm recording I'm recording this tomorrow. So
oh, cool.
That's very cool. Excited. Hollywood is where we moved to from Egypt when we immigrated. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine the culture shock?
No, I can't. I have no concept of that. Oh,
19.
Yeah, I actually was looking at hotels and it was like everything was $600 a night. And I'm like, Airbnb, who's got a so I found a little I just need to sleep, right? So
you could have put it out there and I bet you an agent would have hosted you.
Yeah, I know. I just was like, and I may be seeing my cousins tonight, and so I'm just like, but I found one for like $120 a night for 2 nights in Hollywood. Like that works. So
I hope it's safe.
It looks safe. I looked at the address. I know where it is, so I'm like, all right, okay. So it's fine. So it'll be fine.
All right.
Have fun.
We'll be excited to hear about that. All right, guys.
Thank you all right, ladies. Have a good one.
See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Good luck to you. All right. Bye.
Bye. Good luck. I want to hear. Text
okay.
me. Let me
Samia.
know.
Okay.
Samia.
Bye.